told you once to sprite from the beginning. We made eyes contact. I picked up something again.
You know what's good? One of my boys, yeah, he swears that the way he was gonna meet his wife, he was gonna bump into her
at the airport or something.
I don't know where. He was gonna bump into her and just look at her and like, yeah, this is my baby. I think he thinks that God is gonna put like a spotlight down and be like,
but they'll always be the same. Penny for my dogs, cause you know I'm trying to change. If I ever took a loss, charge it to the game. When we see
we're in? Alright. We're back again, I guess. Podcasts, we're quitting. People are putting in a good petition though to keep us going. I fair play to them. Fair play to them. People are putting in a good petition. Even my boys in my group chat, they were like, "Yeah, you're a natural at this." I'm like, "Natural at talking shit."
Even last week,
natural talking shit.
Last week, the love we got last week, I was like,
we can
do we really need to?
Anyways, how are you, bro?
Tired.
Yeah. Always busy weekend.
But you know, my weekend's always busy.
Yeah, I'm working on the weekend like usual.
Fam. That's why I love that song so much.
It's a future thing, yeah. Now, I'm good, man. Just wedding yesterday.
Yeah. Talk to me through this wedding.
It was actually grand. I think the timing thing. People just need to start doing being more aligned with the time things are supposed to start, because then you begin to speed through the wedding, because you don't start on time. But it was a good time, and. Saw people there with their kids, didn't have video. I was like, yeah, I'm not taking my kids to a wedding till he's at least 3 years old.
Yeah, then, I'm not having that responsibility.
Yeah, because then they just have to.
You know what? Just let me drink and eat your love in peace, man.
Yeah, and then just watch people and I'm like, oh yeah, and happy. But when you go to Nigeria, what's one song like if you're leaving, yeah, and they play that song, everybody's come back to the dance floor? Like yesterday, there was like Lua came on Kofi Olomide, and I was about to leave, and a couple of people were about to leave, and I saw people that weren't standing on the dance floor; they were just standing there. That song came on, even like you know what she did. Her husband was like, "Oh, I'm tired. I just want to sit here." That song came on, everybody had energy. Everybody ramped it. I was like, "Yeah, this is like a version of like you know how you guys say you have a national anthem?
Yeah.
This is like our version of a national anthem, all timer." So I was like, "What song does come on in a Nigerian part?" But I guess you guys probably have loads.
Probably to be right. Probably. Ijo Fuji.
Yeah. I always see people get up and react to that. Yeah.
But you know what it is, yeah?
That's it.
It's so weird. Like, being a kid and being young, yeah?
Yeah.
There's so many things you look at, it's just like, why the hell are we doing this? Like, Fuji music, oh my God, my mom playing this shit. It's one song is 30 minutes. Yeah. What the fuck? They get older, it's like, yo, this shit kind of slaps, you know?
Because even yesterday I was listening to, like, I was on Angolan's music and also Congolese music mixing. I was like, it's nice because it's very instrumentally, it's based heavy on the instrumentals. There's like very few words. It's just like the one that you're about to sing. Like, it's the beginning that they're playing.
Once it starts studying, bro, it touches differently.
That's it. I was like, nah, man. It was good, but it's good to get out again. I think that's probably the last one I'm going to for a minute, since nobody wants to propose again. None of my friends want to propose, but it was fun.
Nah, but do you see weddings differently now? After you've been married and everything, or is it still the same? Just pop up, it's like, oh, yeah, cool, whatever.
Because you see the behind the scenes stuff, like you understand the behind the scenes stuff more. So I think I just see like it's a tiring day for the people actually involved. Whereas even as a guest, I'm like, yeah, some people, if you're a part of the wedding party, I see that more because I'm like, yeah, you can't move or do anything, and you've been up since probably like 10, 11 o'clock, and you're gonna be on the move to like 3 a.m. What? Is everything alright?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
My cousin, bro.
Okay. Yeah, that was like, yeah, so you guys are going to be on the move to like, because guests can leave, come and leave whenever. Yeah. But the wedding party is kind of like, yeah, it's a shift. Like, that's kind of the aspect I see a bit more. But other than that, I'm just like, nah, just turn up a party and have a good time.
The last wedding I was at, low-key might be yours.
Jesus. Yeah, see, nobody's getting, yeah.
But what? Next month we fly again.
Oh yeah, you're going next month, isn't it?
Yeah. What's called Marrakesh.
Marrakesh, yeah. My brother's there now. My brother is like, he's in Africa and he texts me, he says, nah, this is a third world country. I was like, what do you expect? So Nathan goes to Africa and he says, it's a third world. Like,
don't mind that guy, man. As a guy,
yeah.
Do you have to put yourself out there to potentially get embarrassed to shoot?
Oh, yeah. There's always that risk. There's like, yesterday at the wedding I was at, when they were giving the speech about how he got like Alex Gavaline, and they were saying like, he was shooting. He was shooting, saying like, link me. And he just kept going. He was just like, oh, like, when she link me with this girl. And he's probably shooting shots at her, and she was like, at the beginning, she was like, nah, not my type, whatever. But
I got a question about that, yeah.
what's happening?
Because there's enough married people that when you ask them about their situation, I was on her, and she always goes, I wasn't even looking at him at first. Do I want that to be my story?
Then you want to distract from the beginning. We made eyes contact.
You bump into each other.
I picked up something again.
You know what's good? One of my boys, yeah, he swears that the way he was gonna meet his wife, he was gonna bump into her
at the airport or something.
I don't even know where. He was gonna bump into her and just look at her and it's like, yeah, this is my baby. I think he thinks that God is gonna put like a spotlight down and be like, ah.
But what I will say about that is, like, get older, you must know as well. Life isn't black and white.
I hear that.
There's a lot of. We all have an idea of what our perception of what we want our life, just not in this, in regards to like anything. And the story that actually people, when you hear people's stories, how they got to where they got to, you're like, oh, I thought you would have, for example, like to be on the radio, you'd be like, oh, I thought you would have got to media school, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't have to be that story.
Yeah,
so the story that we always think it's going to be, more times, that story is probably an outlier. That's why it's the story. That's why it's like, I bumped into her, the passport failed. I said, wait, wrong passport. And then I have to go chase her to the gate. That doesn't happen. How often in life does that just happen?
You know the one thing I love when I meet a couple, I love asking them how they met, and the different story that the man and the woman gives me always makes me laugh.
Like even Morris was like, the way he met his now wife, he was like, we saw her on the sister story, and so I had to bookmark. I said, yo, who's that? It was no news. Like, I just saw her across the room. We contact, because I'm watching Starting 5. It's a documentary on Netflix. One of the stories like, oh yeah, she just walked around. She walked in a restaurant and it looked like she was in slow motion, and we contacted eyes. I was like, give him lead.
No, wait, hold on.
All right, go back.
I hear it, Loki.
You hear which one? That she was in slow motion.
Maybe not the slow motion, but the bookmark I fully hear.
Oh yeah, the one more said
Sometimes you be looking like,
you both
see you,
Because this one, when he was living in Nigeria, he was coming back like to come live back. He just saw in the sister story, says, yo, let me bookmark this one. When I'm back, obviously they were like, you have to be serious, because that's dating your sister's friend. You have to take her serious from the off, because that's your sister's like. It could have a knock-on effect on that friendship as well. It's either you're on serious stuff or you're not. So you can't be on crook.
Does that story sound different if Morris isn't attractive?
Probably. Probably. Or it could have been like, Alice is a very handsome guy, but maybe she was just like, oh, he's not my type. And it could have been like, sometimes you have to work your way up and just have the chat. Because some people are better chatters. Yeah, some people are better at conversation. Mm-hmm. Like Morris has the privilege of just being a handsome guy. So shout out to him. So some people are better to like, when I chat to you, oh, you're gonna melt. all these preconceived notions you have of me, let's get talking first, and then let's go.
What's your back in your heyday? I
was conversationalist. I remember.
This podcast.
Yeah. I remember a girl like I was dating from church at the time. She didn't pay me no minds when I was going there, but me, I was like, yeah, whatever. Eventually, I got start chatting to her and start liking me, and then she said to me, says, "You're actually good looking, you know." She's like, I was like, wait. Well, I was like, is that a compliment? It's like, why did they take you this long to know? So I was just like, oh yeah, just because we were chatting. I would comment. I was better at conversation, and I knew that. Like within my group of friends, it was like guys like Morris and was just good looking. Chris was funny. I've said this before. Mm-hmm. So you need to find your niche. You need to find like, all right, when we start chatting and we start have conversations, we can talk.
Find what you're good at. And try and put yourself in those spaces.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of saying. Like, some guys like they want that love story, but that's not a niche, man. She might not look at you. And
you know them ones, boy. You're not looking, bro.
So she might not look at you and be like, oh, thank you for the passport. Wait. Sorry, I'm gonna miss my flight. So what flight you on? Now you're on the same flight, sitting next to each other, laughing. Now you're in love.
No, actually, funny enough, something like that happened to one of my boys. He was on holiday somewhere or whatever, and like he'd see this girl like at the pool or whatever. Yeah. Constantly see her. Like they never chatted or whatever. He gets on the flight now. Who's sitting beside him?
Oh,
it didn't go nowhere.
See what I mean? But that's a Fred from 90s Babies. That's kind of his story.
When he met his in Miami. In the elevator.
In the elevator in Miami. No, that's his wife. Maybe that's why a lot of people are hoping for. But you don't want that to be your story.
No. I don't mind that being my story. I don't want you know, he was on me, yeah, and I just wasn't even looking his way. Like, I was like, who's this bum just trying to chat to me? And then he kept talking to me, and then eventually I was like, oh, I'll give him a chance. What?
They just said Louis from the start.
You know what I'm saying? Bitch, what me?
Don't say I grew on you.
Yeah,
I don't even think that was my love story. I don't know how I got to where I got to because we were friends for 5 years. I don't even know what the transition to be like. Wait,
I don't know if this is a conversation. If this is a pod conversation.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it.
But, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I want that to be my story, man.
No, I hear it.
You know what? Because I don't think it happens in the reverse. Well, not often.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not because
women don't really grow on men.
Oh yeah, because men like looks from the off. Mm-hmm. Like men were like if I didn't find you attractive the first few times I saw you, because it can happen where maybe first time you saw her, for example, she was in uni, she was wearing like tracksuits, she was getting through it, and then you go to an event and she's all done up. You're like, is that? Fair enough. I can never see it happening that way. But if there was not that initial attraction with men, I don't think a year down the line, she'd be like, yo, she's kind of funny, you know. For the most part. Yeah, like, she's kind of funny, you know. I might give her a chance.
You know what? I think it happened, men that were like prolific whores, I think it might happen with them.
What you mean?
Because I'm not going to lie, some of the whores, like, I'm talking about, you know, the prolific man. Yeah. Some of them, when they get with girl, I'm just kind of like, the girl that they settle with, I didn't think that would be the caliber.
Oh, yes. Do you also think it's because...
When you do that to make you go, no sort of stupid this coming.
I'm just thinking about to say. Do you also think because they're prolific whores, they probably been with so many pretty women that probably didn't have the substance that probably a less prettier woman had for the long term?
So they appreciate more than the beauty is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
see, that's why I like you.
And the man that couldn't get baddies, the minute they find something bad, they have to snatch that.
Okay. Hey.
You know what?
But do you know what I like? Because I've seen it also though. I've seen a guy winning this prolific. I'm like, yo, you are killing. You are getting that's 8, 9, 10, blah 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 blah. And then you see him, I'm like, you wonder why. But then when you talk to the babes they settle with, you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it's like you fit perfectly. Like,
yes.
You are who he needed.
Yeah. I've seen that as well. Where man them are like, I'm even thinking of something right now. They're like prolific, and when they settle down, you're like, your track record when you were in the streets was very impressive, and this isn't like as it's on that level until I talk to their partner and I see why they fit, and I'm like, yes. But I think maybe that's it, because we always say pretty girls don't need game, and a lot of them. Just because they're pretty. And a lot of them...
I think somewhat attractive girls don't need game.
And a lot of them don't even develop personality because, like, I always say the beauty of watching Love Island is, like, you're seeing pretty girls have to try a game because they have no idea what to do. They never had this.
That's why they always come and Castle more. I'm going to take your man. And they don't say 2 words.
Because they've never had to. So sometimes, like, those guys, when they're with those girls, they're like, oh, we can't even have conversation. Whereas I always think, like, girls sometimes who aren't as conventionally pretty, or the caveat is when pretty girls grew up like brothers who'd see them like as man them, they develop personalities. Because we don't care. We're going to treat you like you're one of the boys. So you're kind of like, when it's like just, you grew up when you were pretty and you were like whatever, and boys just came to you, you didn't have to say much. I always find that maybe in the long term that these men whores, they're like, there's really no substance kind of thing here for me to build with long term. So that's like my thing. We should not say prolific whore. Why? What they're thinking. That's willing to say. If I was just saying it to them. So you were having with 10s, but you settled with someone. What was it about them?
Have you ever met a couple here and you just look at them and it's like, I don't think there's chemistry here.
Yeah. I've met couples that were like, do these guys have sex? Like I was like, you're like, I don't see.
You know the most I look at it. Do you even like each other?
Yeah, so what's going on here? But and then a year or so later down the line, you hear like, oh yeah, they broke up. You're like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
It was a matter of time.
Yeah, I get it. Well, yeah, let's stay out of people's business. I don't know how we got here. I don't even know where we were.
Bro, I don't know how the fuck we got here either.
How we got here. But
look, man, we partnered.
Yeah, let me introduce the podcast real quick. Anyways, we are here. We are Charge.
Bang bang.
This is the podcast with the highest level analysis the culture needs. I'm Daddy J, but you man can call me Jordan, and I'm here with.
You know it's your girl's favorite voice, Big Dage, nigga with the Midas touch.
Come on, like
just wanted to say, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Because hold on, I have the actual percentage over here. So 1 second. 84.9% of you guys that are watching are not subscribed.
84.9.
Bro.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Subscribe.
Put money in my pocket, man.
You know them ones. Also, just because we have to start flexing a little bit. We are the podcast of the year. Because in case we don't run it back, let's make sure
we don't run it back. GTG have that in the bag. if anybody else gets it, I'm writing that. What's the point?
Get on stage.
I say, yo, I am really happy for you, but this is the best podcast of all time. All time. These guys they're doing ads of tree and everything.
Bro, so while we're still the reigning champions, we're going to let you know we're the reigning motherfucking champions.
Make you laugh for how long left? 2 weeks? I didn't do that. I usually put out the votes and nominations and everything by now.
Bro, I don't know what's happening. Look, I'm not going to lie. The scene has been simmering
fair enough.
For a lot of this year, so we don't know what's going to happen there, but look, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all them things there. Let's get back into this.
Yeah, let's get. Oh, what I was gonna bring up is I just wanted to get this out of my head. My guy Cole dropped, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Cole is a phenomenal rapper. Like he's
never been on the question, yeah.
But the thing is, yeah. Do you know that thing when they say when you're explaining, you're losing?
Yeah.
He just needs to he just needs to accept that hip hop heads will never accept the fact that you enter the battle. Even though you thought the battle was gonna be like who's the best MC, then you find out that people are gonna call each other pedophiles. Wife, you say, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. But the fact that you entered, you can't back out and said, "Oh, if I stayed, I would have won."
Facts. It doesn't matter how many similes and metaphors you put here, you still back out.
And you have to accept that people are gonna be like, you entered a battle. And then you went on stage saying, "Oh, I was crying. I couldn't sleep. I don't want to be part of this." I fully understand. Kendrick had an agenda of what he was going to do. You thought the agenda was going to be like, oh, let's find out who the best MC is. And Drake was defending his throne. Everybody's on different wavelengths. But the fact that you came in, then the way you apologize. Yeah. And apologize that way.
And then took the track down.
And then remove the track. You just have to accept.
And the track was a banger as well.
Yeah. I thought the track was cold.
It was perfect.
He just has to accept that no matter how much he explains himself, you're not... People, it's just gonna leave a taste in people's mouth that you enter the battle, you called yourself the best, you said you were the big three, you said you were one of the best, and it would have been better if Kendrick actually just said in the song, "Cole, this not about you, sit this one now," and you'd be like, you know what, he didn't want me in this.
But bro, when is war like this, I'm shooting you and whoever's beside you.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal rapping and it was phenomenal explanation. He broke it down perfectly. I'm the biggest Coke fan. I can never really fault him when it comes to his rap ability ever. But even me, I was still like, yeah, I get it, I hear you. But bro, the way you backed out and apologize as a hip hop fan, you're just not gonna win some people back. It is what it is. You can never be that guy anymore in people's eyes.
But the thing is, we have the luxury of we're in the space where things are forgotten so quickly. Yeah. Like right now, out of that whole beef, people only remember Not Like Us.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Instead of explaining and keep bringing our attention back to that,
keep pushing.
Just drop. Like you're rapping at probably the best you've rapped in.
His
career.
His career. Even listen to that song, I'm like, man, he's good at rapping.
Bro, remember I even said this group chat, I was like, yo, Cole is rapping his ass off.
Man is good at rapping.
All you got to do now is just keep dropping at that stupid level and hope one of these niggas pop their head out. Because once one of these niggas pop their head out, you're back. You're back.
Yeah, no, that's all. I just want to get that out because I was like, I see it and I see. Obviously, I get involved in it and I'm seeing all the opinions and I'm like, yeah, no, it's nothing about that you being a bad rapper. It's just about.
It's never been about you being a bad rapper.
Yeah, it's just about how you handled it and you left your. Because people say, "Oh, you left Drake out to dry," but I get it. You don't want the part to be like. You don't want to be in the part where you're gonna be one of your guys is being called a pedophile, another one is being called a woman beater. You're just like, oh, what? But we're not just rapping. What's going on? What's wrong?
No, you know what it is like when when you're playing like. I don't know why niggas always do this. Like they start slap boxing, and we all start. The three of us is fun, and then someone gets hit too hard, and you're like, and now it's a fight.
It's like you walk into a UFC, like, okay, I'm gonna fight now. Who's the best martial artist here? So yeah, you walk into the ring. Who's the best martial artist? Someone says, oh, but you might die. I get someone saying like, I'm leaving the cage right now. I don't want to. I just want to find out who the best martial artist is.
On a human level, I get
it. Yeah.
But when we're talking about what we're doing here, bro, we ain't talking about that. Like, look, like at the end of the day, rap is an aggressive sport, and that's what it's about. It's about the aggression. It's about all of that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? So you can't duck the smoke.
Yeah, and just let Kendrick have his moment and just move on. I have to keep rapping the way you were rapping before.
I've got a couple things, yeah. First thing is, what was I going to ask? Shit. I completely forgot what I was just about to ask. Talent, yeah. I was listening to HC Pod the other day, and they were talking about talent. And is there a specific talent that you find very attractive?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes. Do you know, like, when you go to, you go to a museum or even flipping tailors, like, when you just give them a concept or an idea and they just see it. Like, even people that draw, like, I remember in Lagos, I went to a place and someone drew the streets of Lagos with all the yellow buses, and I'm like, I find that it's amazing that someone can just, from their brain, see an image and replicate that right on a canvas. I think that's really impressive because my brain just doesn't work like that. That's a talent that I found, like, oh, they could see a item of clothing on Instagram and say, Auntie, can you sew this one for me? Just by looking at it, their brain already is like, yeah. I find that kind of shit, like, when you can see something and visualize it and then recreate it into actual life, I find that impressive.
That's not the question I asked you.
What's talent though?
I didn't say. See, this is.
You said what talent you find impressive?
Attractive.
Oh, attractive. Also, I heard impressive. What talent do I find attractive? It's a good ass question. The heavy.
Hey, that's pretty fucking attractive if you ask me.
It's a talent as well. It's God given, isn't it? What's the definition of a talent? Oh, attractive. I thought you said impressive.
No. I feel like there's better.
What talent? Give me an example. Like singing or something.
You know what my problem with singing? Yeah, I love a good singer.
Yeah.
But my only problem with singers is that they want to sing all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I don't want to hear you sing, bro. Sometimes I just want, bro, I'm just trying to chill in peace, and now I'm hearing you in falsetto in the kitchen washing plate. Bro, I love me, bro.
Do you think it's cooking a talent or is it a skill?
I think it can be both.
Okay.
Like,
define something. Oh, talent.
Like, I feel like, and I'm going to preface this with a very specific asterisk, a good dancer is attractive.
Good.
I'm not talking about Zonta Warrior.
Stairmasters. Stairmaster Warriors. Oh.
I'm not talking about Zonta Warrior, but a good dancer, someone that can really like control their body, move, and all that kind of shit. That's very attractive.
Oh, I've never ever. I don't think there's any talent that like attracts me personally.
Yeah, look, to be honest, like,
I don't think
because I was listening to the pod on maybe like Friday.
Yeah.
And I've been racking my brain, and I can't think of something.
Yeah. What were they saying? Like,
Chucky was saying a girl that can skate, like that can really skate.
Nah, that's no for me. Because you watch the Olympics and you're like, nah. Oh, nah. I was gonna. Even the runners. Yeah, there's no talent that I'm like, oh, that adds points. I wonder what women would say. Like, I wonder if I rap to lighten the mood, that's like that could be like attractive talent.
Honestly, to be honest, I feel like for women probably like singers. Or like what's called the musicians.
True. R&B niggas been.
Bro, the niggas that can play piano, all of a sudden, oh my god, there's just something about him.
Yeah, the drummers in church with their, and I said, oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Look
but
see, that's why men are just so superficial. Like at least women can find all these pockets attractive, whereas we're like, nah, it's
just be lame.
that's a talent in itself. That's a talent in itself.
You just gotta own it, innit? Like, or I already know your answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask anyways. It's just stupid. You know, stupid shit I always see on TikTok.
Yeah.
7.5 bags a week for the rest of your life.
Okay.
But you can't speak to one of your siblings for 10 years.
Oh no. 10 years?
Yeah.
7.5 for 10 years.
No, the 7.5 is for life.
Oh, for life, but you just have
you can't speak to one of your siblings for 10 years. My caveat is, do steps count?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because that's easy.
We've been through that.
See, you have a loophole.
Yeah,
for you, it's an easy. What if they say steps don't count? Can I explain?
If I had to pick one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one.
Yeah. Because my thing is, you can get to 7.5 bags. Maybe not a week, but...
A week without doing anything. For life.
But you don't miss out on your siblings, and your siblings will get married, have kids.
Remove the money. You have to not talk to one of your siblings again. Which one would you pick?
Out of all my siblings? Or which?
If you had to not speak to one of your siblings for 10 years.
Yeah.
Forget about the money. You just have to pick one that you can't speak to for 10 years. Which one are you picking?
I can't say that. Which one are you picking? No steps.
See, the thing is, right? There's a reason why, and it's not about the sibling.
Okay.
My niece and nephew, I can't not have them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
so that's the thing. My siblings are also getting like, obviously, Jimmy's getting to that age as well soon, where they're gonna be having families and nieces and nephews, and I
got these ones now. Like they're here now. They're here today.
So imagine now, 10 years later, Jimmy has a whole life, 3 kids, family.
Yeah, then we gonna pull up. We gonna run.
Can you tell them before and give them the context of what you can do? Or do you just have to cut off communication? It's like, look, if I don't speak to you for 10... Because I think then I would have to pick my brother because he'd understand. He'd get it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
He'd get it. He'd be like, do you know what? In 10 years, we'll back, yeah? And you'll be, yeah.
All I'm saying is, bro, just half of that every week. Put it in.
Because if your brother came to you with that proposition, you'd be like, I hear it. Do your thing, bro.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Just
Like,
break me off with something nice.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think... No, I don't think 7.5. Money is...
Yeah, the money's not worth it.
Yeah, money isn't worth it.
That's why I said happy.
Like, I listened to Brilliance and they said, like, I think it was like $1 billion or something not to speak to a parent. And Charlamagne was like,
I'm doing that for free.
My dad.
Got it.
This guy is crazy.
Got it.
This guy.
Got it.
This guy. He's insane. Anyway.
Okay, wait.
He's like, my dad would understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a parent, it's slightly different.
Why?
It's got like 20 years left.
Yeah, but that's why it's even more different because you only have the 20 years left. Do you want to miss out on? Do you want them to miss out on anything, or do you want to miss out on anything in their life?
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, at this stage, do you want your mom to miss out on anything? Like, if you're gonna do next, you don't want to be like you got married, you had kids, or whatever, and your mom was never part of that.
You know what I found out the other day?
Part of that.
You know what I found out the other day? Yeah. My mom is really looking forward to like the mother-son dance.
Oh.
Because when she told me,
this guy, instead of him to fulfill his mother's dreams, he's here talking on the mic. Take niggas mics away, man.
Yeah. Because one day we were just chatting, and she's like, "Yeah, dude, like, when are you gonna do this thing, man? Like, I want to get dressed up, do the whole thing." I was like, "Oh, you're actually looking forward to this?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh."
What's it? Oh.
Yo, GB, step up.
Do you think it's that stage? Like, that is the stage of life they're at, innit? They've seen probably their friends have mother-son dances. They've seen their... Well, your mother's a grandmother already.
She's got one of each already.
Yeah,
bro,
but she hasn't had that moment where she's on the dance floor with her son.
Yeah, I get that. But like, it'll come eventually.
Hey, event soon, 2025. You'll find that person even. I said just find the person, man.
Oh, yeah. Find the person. Yeah,
and then you don't have to get to it. You don't have to.
Anyways. Let's go. How the fuck do we even get here?
We're just talking about Chucky, about the talent.
Okay, next stupid question, yeah? 100 million.
Yeah.
But you have to lose 1 year sentence and it's irreversible. Do you take it? And if you do take it, which sense do you lose? Because I think if you were to take it, there's only one sense that I feel like I could give away.
Taste or smell?
Smell.
Yeah, well, sometimes we need to smell. I thought does smell and taste go together?
Yeah, they do, but like, it might not taste as good without the smell, but you can still taste.
Yeah, I think smell is the one. Like, smell. The only thing, especially now that we don't live in gas-based houses, they don't make those as much anymore. The only thing they hear, because if a gas leak was you couldn't smell it. But if you can avoid
100 M's. Niggas had no smell in COVID.
Yeah, I think it has to be taste. Taste is the easiest to take away because then you get 100 M's. Because I'm not giving away touch.
Wait, you'd give away taste?
No, smell. Smell is easy because when you have a cold, you can smell, and it's not like you're really like, oh, I can't smell. It's just like I want to breathe properly. That's it. That's it.
To be honest, I hear that.
Bro, what's that?
Well, I have more stupid shit, but I have to look for it.
Well, I was gonna ask this. I was gonna bring this up on the pod. I was listening to Plantain talk last week about like what we do is sometimes what's the word he used? We force or search for capture moments. Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever find yourself you do something that's successful and you're trying to maybe replicate exactly what got you there, but the thing that maybe has gotten you there is the fact that you weren't forcing it. Like you were just doing, like for example, when you talked about going on radio, you didn't force it. You just said, "Oh, I want to do this. I'm gonna." Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes when we find success in one way, and we always see this with like a musician, they'll say like, "Oh, the way I did this song slapped." So I'm gonna just do this version of this song again and again because that's how I found success. Do you ever find yourself doing that in life? That sometimes you're like, oh, I am searching for that moment. I am reaching them. Because I asked this because when I heard him talk about it, he was talking about it in terms of like music. And like, oh yeah, like you doesn't have to force it, etc. And I found myself like, oh yeah, I think I was doing that a bit here as well. I was like trying to overcomplicate it and overanalyze things. I'm like, okay, what's the best time to post? Need to post 3 times a day, blah blah blah. Like I was forcing it a little bit because I was chasing that moment of like virality or things to make that thing the podcast proper. The best moment that we've had has been like very authentic moments. Like it's like nothing forced, nothing said. That even it's like okay, but you ever find yourself that in life that even in away from the pod, like oh I did this and it worked. It's like okay, let me just do this again. But it's not a set formula. You just sometimes have to let things be what they are, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd probably say trying to be someone I was at a certain point because I was probably most efficient or most successful during that time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then realizing that I'm not that person anymore. I'm not in that situation. I'm not in that situation anymore. So I can't replicate those things. Like, you know, there's probably a time in your life where it's kind of like, everything was fucking up, so you just shut everything out and maybe just focus on gym and just focus on whatever.
Yeah.
But like you're an adult now. Do you get what I'm saying? You got like that was college days where you didn't have anything to do. You could skip class. You can have no responsibilities. Like it was easy to just laser focus and ignore all the responsibilities that weren't crazy responsibilities, but you just can't do that anymore. Yeah. I'd probably say that's probably the closest.
That's such a good point. Yeah, because you are chasing the person you were without also like considering the external factor that allowed you to be that person. Like that word used is like we're chasing moments instead of like following up on momentum. Yeah, that's the way Plantain phrased it. And I get that because when you are in college, maybe you're like, oh, I was a happier version of myself when I was in this stage of my life. Why was I at this stage of my life? This was happening. You try to replicate it, but the fact is, you didn't try to chase those moments. It kind of just happened. And then I was like, yeah, we get like that as a human being. You're like, oh, I was happier when this happened, or I'm chasing this. I've seen the way podcasters work, and this is why you kind of need to do something. I was kind of like chasing a little bit, and it sucks the fun out of things. Like I don't know, when you were chasing the person you were, did you find it like a bit more frustrating or difficult to be that because of like, why am I not that person anymore, or like why can't I find that niche again, or what it was?
Because it used to be something like you just kind of almost like flick on, flick off, and you just kind of go in between it. Now you're trying to flick it on, and you're getting pushed out. And it's like, now you're getting frustrated that like, no, this is me. Why can't I do this? But it's not really you no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like even when that makes so much sense why you text me during the week. Like even with the podcast, like I do hear what you're saying. Like I think the only reason why we're here right now is just because it's fun again. Yeah, like we're just kind of like doing it on our own terms. Like, and because it's one of those ones where it's the road to the end, there's no pressure to do anything. Like, if something pops, it pops. If it doesn't pop, it doesn't pop. Like, at this point, we're just doing it because why the fuck not?
Yeah, because GB basically told us to. Because GB basically said, keep going until we can sing. And that's kind of why I deep. I'm like, why am I enjoying it again? I was like, oh yeah, because I felt like we need to do, there was a formula, let's say, to make a podcast work or to make a podcast grow. Man. Like, and then you're getting frustrated to yourself, like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, whereas it's something you actually want to do. And I was like, oh, that probably applies to other things. And I was like, why am I enjoying this again? And I even use that within other things in my life. I'm like, there's certain things that you do need to kind of like
force the issue and
turn the screw, but sometimes it's like let it be what it is. You know, don't kind of like chase the moment. And when I listened to that part, I was like, oh, he was saying like, yeah, we find stuff like Jordan Adetunji. I think he was the topic is like you shouldn't chase that moment again because Kalani was what it was.
Yeah, it's never gonna be that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that again. You have to, but like I get also saying like, oh, this is the thing that made me successful. So I should like if I just follow this formula because. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you do the thing that made you successful? Like, I guess I get it.
That's an interesting point. Yeah. Can we talk about Cello?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, Cello had Sellotape.
Yeah.
He had Dublin.
Cold. Yeah.
He had Oggy.
Yeah, like, Irish Girls.
Yeah. What's called? Like he had a couple very Irish cultural things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Molly Malone.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that we're seeing Cello apparently come back or not come back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Flirting, doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Does he, if he goes down the same path of before, do you think it looks the same? Or does he have to kind of like pivot now?
I think he has to pivot authentically because Dublin, it was its moment. And the moment maybe it's gone. Like, do you know that kind of, we did have that, to your point, it was the first time maybe for a lot of us we heard a rapper rapping about being on Dublin Bus 13, like rapping about Irish culturally relevant things. But now you kind of be like, okay, we've heard that story. You grew up in Clondalkin, and this is the culture we live in, and you portrayed what it is to be maybe Black and Irish into music, maybe for the first time for a lot of us. I don't know if it's going to have the same effect if it goes back down that line. I don't know. And I would understand if we thought like I had a top 10 album in the country doing this. So why wouldn't I do this again? But what happens sometimes is like you sound like you're doing an impression of yourself.
Yeah, you become a caricature of yourself.
Yeah, you become like a caricature of yourself. And comedians have said this, and like we talked about Schultz. Schultz, when he came out, he was flagrant. He was doing flagrant jokes. But then he realized like I have to stop doing that. His last special, The Life Tour, was about his journey to conceiving and becoming a parent. It wasn't about the flagrancy and saying things that maybe I shouldn't say. It's like, you know what? That's what the moment was 5 years ago. We were in PC culture. People were scared to say things. I leaned into it and it blew. Well, 5 years later, people are saying things now, like more than they were 5 years ago.
Trump was president.
Yeah. So the culture has shifted, let's say. So if he just goes back and says all these jokes again, like, nah, it's not here to say because we've moved on. Like, we've moved on. So I think for Cello, maybe, I think it's like, just be authentically you, but also pivot to where you are now. You've given us the moment. We've got the moment of like, oh, this is what it's like. The experience of being Molly Malone. We all know Molly Malone. We've all gone to a pub or a concert and say, okay. We've all had those moments. So I think for him, I would like to maybe see him pivot, but I would understand if it's like, this worked.
Yeah,
being Black and Irish.
I know, because it's weird. I feel like as much as there is a formula for certain things to work, there's also not, like, sometimes if it's your time, it's just your time. It doesn't, like, it almost doesn't matter what you do sometimes. It's just like, as long as you're authentically you, sometimes it just happens. And the problem with picking something and banging that thing until it doesn't work anymore is that we'll get sick of that moment. Like, what's called, the world is only moving faster and faster and faster. And if that's your thing, and that's all you have to offer, and that's all you've been doing, and you don't show us any other range, the minute that we move on from that, we're going to move on from you as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, let's look at all the people that have been successful for decades. Like, let's take like a Skepta. Goes from grime to go to like making like hot poppy music, to coming back to grime, to going rap, to going this. If you don't consistently
adapt to where the time is right now.
Do you get what I'm saying? And like, also, I think the main part of it is also just building that, making people fall in love with you as opposed to what you do. Yeah. Because if people fall in love with you, they'll follow you no matter where you go. Yeah. But if they just fall in love with that specific thing that you do, the minute that thing is not cool anymore, we lose interest in it, or it's just,
no, I get it. And there's also outliers, and some people just have that, like, Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers, and he still raps like Jay-Z. Like, the way he raps, his cadence, his flow, whatever, it's still Hove, but the fact is, like, he doesn't rap like it's 90s or the 2000s. He raps like, oh, this is, and it's like, and maybe that's what you still rap like you're a cello. Like, do the thing that made you great. Like, you're Black, the way you speak and everything, and then the relatability, but also adapt to where maybe you are right now, or where maybe the culture has shifted to right now. And I get it. For artists, it might be hard because you drop a project now, and within 2 years, the culture and the dynamic of things have changed so much that you have to kind of adapt again and be like, oh, this is only 2 years ago. Why is it like I've not even evolved? Maybe I've not even evolved myself as a person from that much from the last 2 years, or the music and everything evolved so much that I don't know. I'd like to see him come back, and I'll be interested to see in what approach he has, because cause I think since then he's done songs like Irish, which for me I was kind of like, I get it, but it kind of
I thought it was forgettable.
It kind of reminded me too much of like Irish, reminded me of like Oggy. Like already, like I'm already connecting, but as a young man, I don't fault him. I'm like, I would have done the same thing. I would have done like, oh, this made me successful.
Low-key, bang, I'm like, gonna do it. As much as we say, but bang that shit until it stops working.
But to your point, it stops working quicker now. Because the world is moving so. Artists could release an album, and I don't know who was saying this. Like, we all count numbers of streams today, but when I got Akon Trouble, nobody can count how many times I played that album. Like, no, you can't. Now it's on Spotify, it's like 3 million streams. Whatever. But now it's like, how many people bought us Get Rich or Die Trying, and how many times did each person play Get Rich or Die Trying? We only know it sold like 1 million or 2 billion. But if you count the streams of Get Rich or Die Trying from the time it was bought till now, you can't imagine how many times people have played Many Men.
Things were so slow back then as well, that like, I remember even like in obviously LimeWire downloading stuff era, bro, I'd walk to school and for like a probably a solid 6 to 9 months, it was only Take Care that I was playing.
Yeah,
like like literally every day, just start of it, go.
And you live with the music, and like you're saying, for 6 months you live with the music and you sit within the music. But now, like, I don't live with albums anymore. Remember you asked me like, when's the last time you listened to a Kendrick album? I don't listen to anybody's album. Like, I don't sit with albums. Like, I pick songs and I listen to songs. But yeah, to your point is like, you would listen to. Do you know? I probably knew like Practice, The Motto, Marvin's Room. Just I knew you actually know what order the songs are gonna come in afterward. You're like, oh yeah, this one comes next. Oh yeah, this one's coming next. This one. But you don't live with that anymore. So I understand it from an artistic point of view where you're like, it moves so quick, and I had the moment doing this. Let me chase that moment again. But to our point earlier, sometimes it's just like you can't replicate things. Sometimes the moment's gone.
I'm not gonna lie. What's called Bruno Mars Doo-Wops and Hooligans?
Yo, was it back yet?
Bro, I know that album inside out, backwards, forwards,
you know what
everything.
I mean? Yeah, we don't live with music, and Plantain will make like so many good points. Like, even the way podcasting is, like, it's rare to know people that say they probably spend 2 hours or 3 hours listening to just music under a week, where you can find a lot more people that say, oh yeah, I listen to 2-3 hours of podcasts a week. So even the dynamic of what people consume is changing. It's like saying, like, if a podcast, where's your head at? If they do a live show, or anybody, they probably be able to get a bigger crowd out than musicians. And that probably wouldn't have been the case 10 years ago. It's like, to get a crowd out to have a good time, it's like, oh, you're doing a music show. But now it's like, there's musicians, like, again, to be fair, some musicians don't give us enough music, let's be honest. Yeah. Whereas podcasters were giving you something every week. Maybe that's also a factor. But you're just saying, like, well, consumer behavior has changed. Right? A lot of people don't sit and be like, oh, I spent 2 hours listening to music today. Whereas, like, you could be like, oh yeah, in my office, I listened to 2 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Because I was deep in it the other day. Once again, look,
working on yourself
and the fruits of the labor. I was thinking about it, and I think one of the reasons why the podcast became such a chore is because I stopped living. Like, I felt like I was very stagnant, and it was like I wasn't doing anything new. I hadn't, like, everything just felt stagnant and boring. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I'd come here and I'd actually have, like, obviously I could waffle for days.
Yeah, but that's like our talent.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? But like, when it terms of like actually thoughts or things that I want to speak about, or like experiences and stuff like that, I wasn't having any new ones. So it kind of felt like I just getting boring. I'm bored.
I fully hear that, because yesterday I asked you guys, when's the last time you had imposter syndrome? Because I've kind of, like, to a point, like, my life, and to be fair, at the end of last year I said I just wanted to have an uneventful year, because the last couple of years were so busy.
You were going back to back.
Yeah, I was like, houses, marriage, kids. I was like, this year, just let me breathe. So to your point, I was like, that's why I asked that question. I'm like, am I doing things now that puts me in a situation where I feel like I shouldn't be here? Because a lot of times I'm in situations that I never feel like I shouldn't. Like, I can't remember. Last time I remember was, like, obviously being in the pharmaceutical industry. When I went to Pfizer for the first time, they bigged up Pfizer as this, like, big industry.
Yeah, they're the guys.
Yeah, when you get in the door, and I was like, wow, little old me that came from Congo, grew up in Balbriggan, working at Pfizer. But what we're talking about with Tommy last week is, like, once you have the knowledge of what's happening and you know how the sausage is made, and you're in the door, you're like, oh, even at Pfizer, people are winging it. So even at this level, people are still guessing.
I remember, like, this is such a small moment, but such a significant moment in my life of, like, obviously I'd gone to uni, I got my degree, looked for a job for ages, couldn't find a job for ages, finally landed a job, and I'm in there, I'm working, I'm like, I'm doing this thing now, yeah. And then my supervisor comes to me, is like, he was trying to show me something, he's like, do you know what depreciation is? I had to go through uni and college and get a degree to be here, and you're asking me, like, everybody that works on our team, matter of fact, everybody that works on this floor, needs to have a degree in accounting, business, something. That's something that they taught me in junior science.
Yeah, junior science. Yeah.
How the fuck do you think I got here?
And then you realize, like, oh, some people probably don't.
That's when I realized, oh fuck.
Yeah,
this is really, like, this is all just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. That's it. And then that was the first time I was like, after that moment, I realized, oh, there's a lot of things in life. The matter we were fortunate to have moments where you're like, oh, like, there's 100 people out here to watch our podcast. I still didn't even feel like imposter syndrome then. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, I shouldn't. I felt grateful, but I didn't feel like an imposter. I didn't feel like, yo, this shouldn't be. That's why I asked that question. Like, am I still doing things that I'm putting myself in the situation where I'm so overwhelmed and thinking, like, maybe I shouldn't be here? And the thing is, to your point, is maybe I'm not living as the life maybe as much as I want to, but also that's also by choice because I wanted to take a step back a bit. I just wanted to chill a bit.
Oh, but do you think, like, obviously, like, I know there's a whole thing of like, oh, maybe we're not doing cool, because like when you asked the question, I was like, I don't think I've really been doing anything cool that I don't think I'm supposed to be there or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that one part of it, or is it that we have started trusting ourselves so much that you kind of like, you know yourself now? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't know yourself 100%, you know, like, okay, the podcast show, at the end of the day, we built this.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? There is nobody else that could be up on this stage at our live show apart from us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's also true.
Like,
I think that's a good point because you recognize the work you've put in, and this is just a result of the work. It's not like I just got here. It's like, no, I showed up every week, blah blah blah. I did this, I blah, blah, blah. So this is the result of the, like what we were talking about last week. I like seeing the results of the work. I was like, work hard, easy, whatever. I like seeing, oh, this is the result of the work I put into. Because even now, 3 years ago, I was like, I'm not gonna apply for managerial roles. I don't think it's blah blah blah. Now I see one, I'm like, get me in there. Because I ran into a guy that it was literally like he was in uni with me and he repeated, so he finished a year after me. And he's like a director, a senior manager. He was a manager when I started, and I'm there a year now. He's a senior manager, so he has teams across Europe. And I'm looking at Joe. I'm like, his name is Joe. I'm like, There's no way where I should think that I'm not able to do this because people that I've seen that I even grew up with are in these positions. The only thing that's stopping me is my own insecurity. The thing like, I'm gonna get found out. Why would he not get found out? Like, what would I don't want to get found out, but then I'm just thinking like, sometimes like even my own team, I'm like, I could manage this team. Like I've seen the smoke and mirrors. I know what it's about. So I think
do you feel like it's the immigrant in us sometimes?
Yeah.
Because what's called, bro?
I was having this conversation with Irene and Cittg.
I've been in jobs. Yeah, one job I was at, bro. When I tell you, I did what I thought was the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Maybe even below that. I get into the thing now, and I get into my review now, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing a very good job."
Yeah.
I'm trying to the recruiter and whatever. He's like, "Yeah, we tried to fill this role 3 times, and it didn't work out. But you're doing a great job." I looked at myself and I was like, "Last week I logged into I just logged in. That's all I did. Just logged in. What the fuck were they doing?"
I definitely think it's like, especially us immigrant kids, we're so used to we don't want to be heard. Like, we don't want to be seen, because we don't want to be seen or heard. Because when our parents used to see us as heroes, they were like, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, can you do this?" So sometimes you're like, let me not, let me just be here, do my thing, and disappear because I don't want to be. Whereas when people, they'll be like, they'll be speaking up. When things are not working, they're speaking because they're used to, they grew up in a culture where they're encouraged to speak up. You're encouraged to find your voice and give your opinion, and they'll ask you, CSB and SPHE in secondary school, we did it. It was literally about you having an opinion. It's about you. It's like, in your opinion, why is fair trade a good thing for the world? And there's no wrong answer. They'll tell you, oh, there's no wrong answer. Just tell us what you think. That was maybe a thing. I don't know about your household, but a lot of African people, tell us what you think wasn't a thing. We'll tell you what we think, and you'll do it. And then when you question it, they'll be like, just do it, man. So I think a part of it, I think that's a part of it, because this week, I spoke up at work. I was telling you, I spoke up. I was like, I need more from this, or I'm gonna look. And my manager was like, "Yeah, we're gonna change the structure of the team. We'll give you blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Bruh," but I felt like, am I being rude? Like, I don't want to upset the apple cart. He's the manager. I'm not the. I'm in terms of the workplace, I'm below him. So you don't want. We're not used to talking up, even whether it be pastors, authorities, our parents. We're not used to talking up to the people above us. But this time I was like, I just have to say something. Do you know? And maybe because I had a bit of leverage and there was another position there. I don't know if I would have. But I have to say something. I spoke up, and he considered what I was saying. And I was like, "Oh, no, I hear you. We're going to work with you and try to change this." And I'm like, fair enough.
At the end of the day, bro, you get what you asked for.
And I'm not used to that, though. Especially in the, like, when people are perceived to be higher.
Well, but you know what it is? I also think it's because, like, I was having a conversation with somebody about, like, salaries and stuff like that. And they're similar, what's it called? They're similar in and around me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we've got kind of similar experience and stuff like that. And when I asked what he was asking for versus what I was asking for, I was like, you should be asking for more.
Yeah.
Like, why? And I think it's because, what's called, when I was like 3 or 4 jobs ago, right? I asked for a certain amount, they gave me 2 less than I wanted, which really pisses me off because it was like, it's $2,000 at the end of the day. Like, it's not really going to mean that much to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I needed a job, so I wasn't going to, like, it's that's like less than £100 a month kind of situation.
Yeah.
And then I found out what one of the other boys was making. That's when I handed in my notice, like, yo, it was coming out of COVID as well, and they wanted people to start coming into the office. Handed in my notice, and then essentially doubled my salary the next time. And I was just like,
you get what you negotiate.
Yeah, and then from that moment that I doubled my salary, I was like, oh shit. So this is what's available.
Yeah.
Next one again, damn near doubled. And I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this is what's out here. So now, but then it got me when I was like outside the contract again. I'm kind of thinking, have I been spoiled? And now
you don't want to go back.
Yeah, do you get what
and
I'm
the market
saying?
has reset itself.
But then sometimes I'm chatting to these recruiters and I'm saying a number that I feel like might be a bit risky. Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I was chatting to a recruiter. I'm not going to even say the numbers because I'm not going. I'm going to, it was just up here, South Amgen. And I was chatting to a recruiter and they said, what's your hourly rate? I gave the hourly rate when I was a contractor. I increased it by a little bit when I was a contractor at MSD. Yeah, I increased it by a little bit. And I think that the hourly rate I gave them was like 45 or something. Also, yeah, there's like, oh yeah, this job offers 60 per hour. And I was like, and I did the math. I was like, 120K? But obviously because it's contract, they have to throw money at you. I didn't take it in the end because it's South Dublin, it's on site full time. I was like, nah. People are probably listening to this saying like, this nigga said no to a job 100. Because once you've worked, you understand flexibility and convenience.
I'm telling you, it's just that extra, what is it?
Basically going from Drogheda to South or Dublin every day, 2 hours, 10 hours a week commuting.
It's even more than that. Bro, God forbid that there's a crash on the M50. now it's taking you 4 hours to get home.
But yeah, that's the point. Like, I was like, you didn't want this, but now because I'm in a position like I don't probably want these jobs anyways. Like not like that. I'm just gonna say number. If they don't like it, it's okay.
Well, I think that's the important part of understanding leverage.
Yeah.
Of being like because
yeah.
there's been a couple times a couple recruiters have called me and I'll ask for something and they might be like, oh, that's a bit of a stretch, and I'm like, but look at it from my point of view. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't need to leave.
Yeah.
You have to get me to leave. And the worst part about it, don't call me and start telling me that you're looking for this and this. I did that. All right, cool. Like even I was chatting to a recruiter, because obviously I haven't finished all my exams, and I asked for a number and she's like, oh, they just hired someone that's qualified and that's the number he's getting and blah blah. And I'm like, okay, but I've done everything that you're asking for.
Yeah.
I've managed, I've owned my own company, I've done this. And also on top of that, if I interview on Friday, I can start on Monday.
Yeah. Do you want someone's working or not?
Do you know what I'm saying? Now. Do you know what I'm saying? And then she was like, I hear that. But it's just kind of like I feel like I'm at a place where I'm starting to kind of like
find your voice.
Do you know what I mean? Same. Before where it's like, oh yeah. Oh, that's what you're offering. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Or there's a number I know I want to ask, then let me just drop that by 5, let me drop that by 10.
Yeah.
And then the thing that pisses me off the most is like, that pisses me the fuck off, because it's like, I know there was an extra 10 or 15 on the table.
Yeah, and then you have to, but to your point, back to the original point, I think is like, it's about being an immigrant and also us finding our voices eventually. Now we're having this conversation. We're getting there now. We're finding our voices. We've worked enough. We've seen the smoke in mirrors. We've talked to enough people. We have the knowledge. So it's kind of like, but it definitely come from a place of like, I don't feel comfortable and I don't want to upset the apple carts. Maybe I don't want to speak up. I don't want to be perceived as troublesome. And because once we get that label, it just feels like it looks different. So, but at the time I was like, look, this is my work situation, like glorified babysitter. I needed to change. And I was like, if I say it, but then I was like, they can't really
give you more work.
Give me, let me go, or just you're scared of perception, how I might look to them after a while. But,
I hear that.
I don't know how we go. Oh, we're talking about searching for moments. Yeah.
Have you, in recent times, have you? I don't know how to put this right. I can't look. I'm a bit of a weirdo sometimes.
Yeah.
I was in my house and then I just started listing off my almost let's say you're introducing. You're like, okay, let's say you're a ring announcer.
Yeah.
And you have to introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. Have you ever given yourself that introduction and be like, I've done this, and list all that shit
They
up?
did that for my dad at the Cittg.
Yeah.
They read his CV. They said he was born here, he went to college here, then he graduated here. I was like, because he's 6, you're like, wow, he's lived a life. He's lived in a...
But have you done that to yourself?
Nah.
And it's like, I'm talking about even things that you might not think is impressive, that is like, it might not, you might not look at it and be like, that's super impressive, but you still did it.
Nah.
You should try it. It gasses you.
The only way you see it sometimes is in an interview when they say, "Tell me about yourself," and then you start doing things that you've like, "Oh, I've done this also." Like one of the things I've done, I always say like, "Oh, I was an extra in a movie with Colin Farrell." Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Wait, what movie is that?
That's on straight to DVD. those one straight to DVDs on Diner, something like that. Because he's doing some of the filming in Mosney, so they came to the school to ask anybody if they want to be an extra that Colin Farrell did. So you just have to be like families walking around in the background or whatever. He was there but you couldn't talk to him, so you just saw him.
Obviously. You're an extra. What do you think?
I was like, so I think sometimes you get there when you say, "Oh, tell me about yourself." It's like, "Oh well, I was born in Congo, grew up there, blah blah blah." You actually talk like, I don't know about you. Maybe you just go straight to like, "I did this job I do." How do you answer that question? Tell me about yourself. Do you actually give your life story?
No, they don't give a fuck about that. I said, look, as soon as I left college, I started working here. Here I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left that, started my company, came back, did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was different from the first time because of this. Then I moved from there to here, and then I. Do
you not talk about like because also I throw in like sports accolades because I was like, oh, because it shows I'm a team player or I can work individual. Like, do you know, like I throw in like all my other accolades in terms of like outside of the corporate world as well to be like, oh look, I'm just not in one bubble. Do you know, maybe that's what I do.
I probably should. No. So I had an interview on Monday. Yeah, I had an interview on Monday. It was like with my managerial positioning. Yeah, and first of all, you know when they ask you questions at the end, I started podding. I was like,
you start asking them the questions,
bro. You know when they was
what
like,
do you think?
No, you know when they were like, that's a good question. They had to sit for a second and think because what was the question I even asked? You might can steal this year.
Free game.
Because I always ask because it's the easiest question to ask. Or like, what would you expect from me in this first 6 months? I don't give a fuck what you expect from me, but.
Yeah, like for me to pass probation.
So now it seems like, oh, like I'm interested in like, do you get what I'm saying? Then I was like, okay, other people that have had this position, like where do they fall short?
Fall short, yeah.
They were like, oh, that's a good question. They answered that, yeah. Both of them answered it, and then I was like, all right, so in like for you that you've done it, yeah. How did you manage it? How did you manage it? How did you not fall short there? They were like, oh, that's a good question. Started hitting me all this kind of shit. But then they were like, why do you think you're right for this managerial role? I almost felt disrespected. I was like,
yeah, full respect to my name.
I was like, look, first of all, put some respect on my name. I'm not on the same level as you man that you're talking to. Like, because they were like, look, I was like, all the shit that you're asking for, I've been doing this. You can see that from my CV. Because also, obviously, I've also jumped around a lot. They always ask me, oh, why did you jump around? But I give them a nice little package answer. I give the same answer to everybody. So when you've worked at it, you refined it. So now
it's like a joke when you find a bit and you refine that bit and it comes to the final
piece. It literally is that. But then I was like, I have like, because one of the reasons I always tell them that I left my first job is because I felt like none of my skills were being used. Because I was essentially just playing in front of a computer all day. Yeah. And I was like, look, I have so many skills that needed to be used. And then that's why I went into contracting and I started getting all these short-time positions here. I was like, I've got all these positions. I'm used to managing people. I've run my own company. I had to go get clients myself so I can deal with client. Like we had to go find clients.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this new client is here, deal with it. No, we had to go do that shit.
I can take initiative.
They started looking at me. I said, yeah, put some respect on my name, nigga.
Have you heard back?
No.
This is Monday, today's Sunday. Maybe Monday here.
No, because what's going apparently they're like, because there's bare positions, so they just interview a bunch of people and then they're gonna try and match the best people to the position or whatever. Look,
that's happening in my place as well. There's like they're building a new so they're hiring, but then they'll tell you you'll hear back from us in 10 working days. It's like, are you guys want to hire or not? like, are you guys why are you taking 2 weeks to give you an answer? Just say yes or no.
There's one company that's been flirting with me for like 4 years and they're pissing me off, bro. Every couple of years they come in, yeah, we've got a contract role, it's this. Like one time I interviewed, another time, the job got taken down, they're not hiring for it anymore. Another time they brought it back up. Bro, do you want me or not?
You already know how did you like his love story. He doesn't like to be like we wore him down. And eventually he came over.
Bro, romance me, man.
But nah, maybe you need to like work aside. Maybe we start doing cool shit again and start feeling that imposter syndrome. Or maybe just like to your point, we're confident who we are. Like if you get into a situation, you know why I'm in that situation, because I was listening to Izzy and Joe Rogan, and he was kind of still talking about like still getting imposter syndromes or being in rooms or seeing people that it's like, how am I in the same room with this person? But then he had to realize like I'm in this room because I won the UFC champion and defended it 5 times. It's not a coincidence. Like I'm not in this room like some fraud. It's like to your point, it's the result of my work. So fine, we need to do that.
What do you feel like could give you an imposter syndrome?
That's why I asked that question.
I honestly,
I don't know.
If you did brilliance, I feel like that's
dude, you need to be there because you need to shut me down. Because if I'm laughing too hard, you
know
need to join it. I've been here before.
I just be tapping your leg like
stop it. That might give me imposter syndrome, like that or the Breakfast Club, because the Breakfast Club, to be fair, started all of this because it was trying to make it was like if I did the Breakfast. That was like the first time for us that it was a black platform that our favorite people like every week. It was sort of like at one stage you had like banger after banger after banger. So it started all of this, and I was like, if I sit on that seat and I'm like, yo
Alex,
it's like how did? But again, you could take so many steps to get to that seat. Like for example, James and Fuhad did maybe it wasn't the thing to do. They did an American tour, but still that Tree Arena. Before doing that, so for them to sit in those seats, they know, oh yeah, you want us here because we're the biggest podcast in the UK. So it's not like how maybe I might not feel like an imposter because the work leading to that moment might be like, of course I'm here. I have the biggest podcast in Ireland and the UK, so that's why I'm in this seat right now.
Podcast of the year.
Yeah, like but right now, if I sat in that seat right now, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing here? But if I had 1 million subscribers, did loads of live shows, did a live show tour, and I'm sitting on Flagrant, I'm like, oh, I know why I'm here. It could be the same kind of like thinking.
Well, I think it might be slightly different when it's like people you've
looked up
to or like you've watched for ages. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's just kind of like
no, that's a good point. Like it all started with Charlamagne and Breakfast Club 15 years ago. Like I followed him to Brilliance and then to do it here.
Like let's say you get box seats to a Chelsea game.
I kind of felt imposter syndrome when I went to a Chelsea at Stamford Bridge for the first time playing Liverpool. I kind of but this was 15, 16 season.
You were still you only freshly got money there.
Exactly,
it's still new.
That's it. A lot of things when you still because I was even still in uni. It was not like I was finished uni. This was like this money I made in this working in the summer. I used to go there. A lot of things back then still feel like, whoa, what am I doing at Stamford Bridge right now? Because if I went to Stamford Bridge right now, I'm like, yeah, I fucking deserve a break, man. I fucking deserve. But maybe a box seat. If I'm sitting in the box and I'm sitting like I'm in that room, whatever, and there's a couple of legends around.
I see Roman just walks in.
I look around and see Drago walks in. And I'm like, something like that. What about you? What could give you imposter syndrome at this stage?
I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Like I'd say probably like meeting people that like I've watched for ages or like have meant something to me or my life at some point. Do you know what I'm saying? Like.
Because at one stage you said podcasters that you've listened to for ages probably meant more to you than meeting Brad Pitt.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so if you meant like, obviously there's certain podcasters that you could be like, whoa, I was listening to you, like, I remember where I was on the bus and I've listened to you now you're here in person.
Like, even low-key, not like an imposter syndrome level, but 90s Baby, meeting them meeting them and like actually like opening for them. was that was a bit of a moment because like I've been listening since before VP was on there.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean? Like
before it was a face and a
do you get what I'm saying? Like I think the episode was like 20 minutes at one point. Like so it was kind of like I've proper like listened to these people for time. Do you get what I mean? And
that's a good point.
Like, but imposter syndrome now it'd probably be if I was hosting something that I felt like was a bit crazy. Or like I was presenting something that might be a bit like, this is real.
That's a good point. Like say you're hosting the GRM Gala, like in the UK, whatever. Say that's gonna
be mad.
But the thing is, to host that moment, you would have had to do so much cool things. So when you're there, it might just, like when Mo Gilligan probably hosted it, he probably like he had such a catalog behind him. He's probably like, yeah, but who else are they gonna get except for? Do you know what I mean? Like,
but I think
to host it now, I get it. Like if they take you from no disrespect, but if they take you from like Afro Gala to GRM, you'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? But if you do all that work, you would just still feel like an imposter.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I hear what you're saying, but I think sometimes you always look around and be like, that host has been doing it longer than me, or maybe some people might not admit it, but it's like I feel like they might be more natural at this thing, or they might be more suited to this particular environment.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, why am I here? Even though you have done certain things over and over again. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because India interviewing Rihanna 4 or 5 years ago, she wasn't on. This wasn't in her scope. Like maybe it wasn't in her scope. She was just probably like a girl living in London doing things. She goes on Love Island, but she goes on Love Island. She's getting brand deals. Then she's hosting after someone. Blah, blah, blah. Now she's on. When I see her on stage with Love Island, for me anyways, it doesn't look like she's at a place. It looks like she worked up to here. Now she's interviewing Fenty. I couldn't even think of a better person to be interviewing Fenty or Rihanna. But if I just saw like. And for anybody, so say I'll use Noella because for some Noella next to Rihanna, I'd be like, "What's going on there?
Yeah,
what's happening?"
But that's the thing about imposter syndrome. Like you might be in place and you might be comfortable there, but it's you that feels uncomfortable because let's say India interviewing Rihanna and shit, something like that. Yeah, India could look at it like, why isn't Maya here? Do you get what I mean? It's like,
I get you now.
Why me of all the people that could possibly do this? Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like sometimes it's not about the work you've done. Sometimes it's kind of like, I know I've done all this work, but look at the work them man have done.
Yeah. It's a little old me. I'm still and. That's another thing about like this little old me, and the other thing that Plantain said is like, do you think it's also like a thing in Ireland? It's like within our cult, with not even just us the blacks, like Irish culture to be like the underdogs, like little old me. Like I was watching football because when you said it, it's like it's even hard for the whites to be so successful because we're so used to being like if we're championed by Ireland, it's like, oh, what the biggest thing. Even the national team, they beat Finland away or something. They beat Finland, and it was like, oh, what a win. When they just qualify for a tournament, it's like, oh. But we have the best fan. So it's also like a thing with... Do you think it's also a thing within like just Irish culture to be like, oh, little old us?
No,
so
it's Irish culture for sure.
It's not annoying that like... Even a thing like... They say it's all the same about Liverpool. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold, TAT. You want something for Real Madrid. But it's like, oh, you think you're bigger than us now.
Sign
you
that
think,
contract, boy.
Yeah. But like, do you think there's also a thing like... In Ireland, like the biggest stars I've seen in Ireland since I've lived here is McGregor and Bono. Because Bono is more like... reserved, he does he kind of buys into the mentality, whereas Conor does like a bigger than life thing. I know he's done fucked up thing, but even before then, people kind of looking at him like that doesn't represent who we are. Are we just stuck in the mentality of like, oh, little old Ireland, and that's how do we even get out of that?
I think it's like it's something that's embedded in the land, bro. Like I agree. Do you know how many times Irish people have called me like cocky, bro? Yeah, and it's like I'm not even cocky. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think even their banter is very self-deprecating. Like, are you at work? Like, you've been at work, and someone says that they did something cool. Oh, I could never, bro. You haven't even tried. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're always talking down on themselves. They're always kind of like seeing themselves as the underdog. And I think for some people, it's like it might be what gives them the fight to do certain things. But like, it's especially in Ireland, it's not normal to big up yourself. It's not normal to be like, I'm that guy. And I think that's why Conor went, pew, but then he kept doing it, and now a lot of people are looking at him like, oh, he thinks he's class. Yeah,
because when he was the underdog, when he was like, oh, look, there's an Irish guy in the UFC, little old Conor. When it becomes, I always say this, I see every champion, when they go back to their country, they have parades. Streets, like even when Yuri went back to Czech Republic, streets, Marab in Georgia, streets. But we have the first UFC double champion in history. It was barely news because when he was the underdog, when he was on his come up, when he's little old guy and he's on Ryan Tuberty, he's on the Late Late Show, he's on the. But when he becomes the guy, now maybe Conor also killed himself. Like, he did a lot of controversial shit that was hard. It maybe made it hard to champion him also. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like we didn't celebrate his achievements enough. But like we would with Bono or something. But because Bono still buys into like
the humble,
Do you
think Rashida gets the backing she gets if she came out popping her shit?
Yeah, if she like multicolored hair.
Forget about the hair. Just like who's that American sprinter?
That's what I'm thinking of. Shikari Richardson.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even talking about the guy that was like world champion of what?
Sorry, yeah, I can't forget his name. I know you're talking about.
But imagine she came out popping her shit like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't sell. It wouldn't sell.
Would they be plastering her face all over RT?
Yeah. But it's not good because it feels like I always say this. I always feel like I don't like fake humility. I feel like a lot of people then you have to be fake humble and because you want to buy into. You don't want to ostracize yourself from the community. And we're communal people. You like if you know it's like if I move this, if I big up myself, it might seem psychotic. Like it look weird to people. So some people are coming with their hat in their hands, but they're like, yo, bro, Rashida, you are her. You don't have to. Again, if that's not her personality, she doesn't have to do it if it's not her personality.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
I was listening to like one of the episodes because she was supposed to be here. I was listening to like Fiona's episode, and I was like, she said, I don't like. It's not my personality to big up myself. Because I do cool shit, but it's not up to me to kind of big up myself. And I'm like, you know what? Fair. But if someone is doing cool shit and they're actually doing cool shit and they're letting us know I did cool shit, I'm like, you did it. Fair, but I feel like in Ireland it's not really. And when Plantain said it, I was like, I get it, because even the white acts or the white people that we get big, they still want to be a bit subservient. And I think that's like it is a part of our culture. And I was thinking about like even the football team, it's just enough to qualify and be a part. Once we don't really care to do great. Maybe it's also accepting who we are, but we don't push it either. We don't push like, oh, small countries like Croatia are fucking going to the World Cup final. If we invest in this country, we can achieve great things, but it's also just be subservient. I don't know.
Do you feel like it's passed on trauma from like the whole English people taking over and all that kind of stuff?
Maybe.
Because I don't know why it's so frowned upon. But like I even look at like just the culture, everything is in Ireland. It's almost, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Everyone's it'll be grand. It's very laid back. It's like there's not a lot of I'm going out there to go get this.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like
there's no grinding and hustle mentality.
No, I wouldn't say there's no grinding and hustle mentality, because there is.
Okay.
But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like there is a certain grind. Actually, no. Maybe I'm just thinking about the immigrants.
Yeah. No, that's what I want to take away from the immigrants. I'm not even talking about us. I just mean like Ireland as a whole, living here 25 years or whatever. I see a lot of it. It's like we appreciate it, even no matter how big you are. Like Hosier in the script. So at one stage, were the biggest music acts probably around. Like they were doing tours in America, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, it's calm." Like blah blah. But then the first person from Ireland that I've seen be a global superstar and let you know he's a global superstar is Connor. And again, maybe he's a bad example because he did kill himself. I would love to see someone like in a Connor situation without the bad publicity. That's just like.
But even let's even talk about Connor before all the
that's
like the minute he won double champ
and
before he started going off the rails.
Yeah.
Like even then, I also think that it makes them feel like he's all the bad parts of Ireland in terms of like, where is he from? What, Crumlin?
Yeah,
just one of the lads from Crumlin.
Yeah,
if he wasn't Connor, would probably be on the wearing tracksuit, doing certain moving and shaking, all this kind of shit.
Fair, but he's him now. Like, and because I think she also saying this about his mom come from Scotland, and she had to leave Scotland because in those kind of cultures, if you want to dream big or achieve big, some people would look at you like, oh, you think you're better than this, or you think you're better than us. And it's like, that's why you strength an example, wanting to go to Madrid, a guy that grew up in Liverpool, you want to go to the biggest club in the world. The mentality, because they also have the like Scousers versus versus everybody. The mentality is like, oh, so because you dream as big as you dream or you achieve these things, you must think that you are better than the rest of us. And that's not the case. I don't think I'm better than you. I just have big dreams for myself. Like, and sometimes I look at Ireland, and when Plantain said, I'm like, and he didn't even keep it just our community. He was talking about like, no, this is what the culture seems to be generally, because he's a musician, so he probably is in other rooms that we're not. Because he used, I think it was used versatile as an example. Says, yeah, you sell out the 3 Arena once, you sell it twice. After that, that's it. You're not gonna get the audience to keep coming back for you in this country. And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Do you think it comes from, like, at the end of the day, a lot of these things are systematic? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was on TikTok the other day, and apparently there's this book about this slave owner wrote or whatever, and he was like, what he'd do is he'd beat the men almost to the point of like death in front of the women. So it's kind of like it made the women feel like they have to protect and provide for themselves, and it made the men mentally weak but physically strong. And then the women would raise their sons to be very like meek and like to like not really put themselves out there like that. But obviously they're physically strong because they need to do all the work kind of situation. And it's like that could then at a certain point it's like, yeah, cool, you outnumber me here. And if you really wanted to, all you guys could kill me and do whatever and overrun this place. But you're not going to because that mental thing.
Mental
Do you feel like it's the upper class, and this conspiracy theory, all this nonsense.
I love it.
But like
I love
the upper
it.
class make the working class feel like if you want more, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. I like it. And that's it. The rich keeps you. That's Kobe. Yeah, because the upper class makes you thinking like, yeah, no, be humble. You have enough. Be humble with what you have. If you want more, do you think you're better than everybody that's on what you have? So sometimes you have to you hide behind it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna dim my light because I don't want to then ostracize myself from my community, because your community is the middle class. So if you feel like I'm gonna go chase it. Now the upper class aren't having it because they don't want you to come up here. Now the people that with you, they're like, well, you think you're better than us, so they don't want it. So you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna stay humble and be here with you.
Yeah, because like
I hear that. That's good analogy.
Because when you think about it, it's always the working class that's always like, why would you want that? Like, even weirdly enough, I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, yeah, and he was talking about like, oh, if you want a Bugatti, it's like, oh, look at the size of my dick, kind of a situation. Like, you just want to flex on people and stuff like that. But what if I just want a Bugatti and it's not about flexing? And I've achieved so much in my life.
I have to treat myself.
You know, there are certain things that are like statuses of wealth. Like, I'm buying this to let you know.
Yeah.
Once again, there will be signs. But then there's other times it's kind of like, yeah, I wanna buy a house that has 10 different rooms and 20 bathrooms
because I've worked enough to do. And again, I always say it, like when people would say, "Oh, Nigeria needs to be humble," when the African, I was like, "No, you're winning. Talk." But me too, I'll talk back. I don't like if you do things and you achieve things and you want to treat yourself or talk like you've done things. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But like to your point, we've built a culture or society, even maybe not even here, maybe across the world, that you're not supposed to behave that way. You're supposed to be calm, be humble, and humility is fine if it's naturally, like we're talking about Rashida, if it's naturally your personality and you're like, I just want to run whatever, you guys can praise me for the results of my work. But if someone inside also is like, if I don't write my history, you guys will write it for me. So I'm letting you know who I am, because I know you're not going to speak for me.
But my question is, why can't I state facts and still be humble? I'm the fastest. I'm the best. And I'm humble.
They mistake. I think maybe Usain Bolt was saying that. People are saying like, you guys on Israel at the time, it's like, you guys mistake because I talk like this, that I'm not humble. So I talk like this because I know the work I put in. So you guys see me in the gym, I get humbled every single day. You guys should see my life. My life humbles me. I am humbled, but I'm the middleweight champion of the world.
I'm not even talking about dreams right now. I'm speaking facts.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Also what's happening right now.
Because the example I have was when I was in college and it was summer job and I was working on the street as a street fundraiser kind of situation, and they asked me like, oh, like what have you done before this? And I was like, oh, what's called? I got a work experience in a pawn shop. Like I used to just go in the chat to the guy and then ask him one day, look, can I work here?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, cool. He gave me a week to work there. I sold the most expensive thing in the shop. And I told that to them. And all of a sudden now, not from the person I spoke to, from somebody else, apparently I'm cocky and I'm full of myself.
Oh.
But I was speaking a fact.
and that's just the friends how people perceive it. Because I watch sports, particularly American sports, I'm used to like bravado. I'm used to men, like I've consumed it so much that I'm like, yeah, talking shit. But some people, maybe for whatever reason, they're used to the humble nature of people. Because this week I was like, what am I thinking that I'm delusional about? I could be running back in the NFL.
Definitely not.
I'm telling you, Didge, if I train for 6 months, I can run back in the NFL. I'm telling you.
Jordan, you run back to football and that meme on Twitter is still going on.
Hey, do you know what the NFL is different? It's stop-start. So you can breathe. I'm telling you know what the running back does, yeah? There's the quarterback, he takes the ball, all he does is hand it to the running back and then you just have to run into the space.
Jordan,
I'm telling you.
I don't think you could run that route.
100% can run that route.
Jordan, I would catch you.
You wouldn't.
I would. Jordan, I would catch you.
You would not catch me today.
Jordan,
I'm telling you.
Maybe not today because I'm not. Maybe not today because I'm not a peak fitness.
If they give us 6 months of training each, and then they said I have to run around.
You have to run and catch the ball. Catch the ball.
No, that's the thing. Wide receiver catches the ball. The running back, I'll show you. The running back, the quarterback takes it and he just hands you the ball, and you just have to run through the people.
Jordan, man, you're not doing it. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Yeah. You know when like you're watching this, you're watching the video, and it's like it's a workout video, and you're like, oh, do this workout and it's crazy. You know,
I'm not
doesn't look
delusional.
that hard.
I'm not delusional about a lot of things in my life. Yeah.
You look at that.
Press play this one. Press play. Look what Derrick Henry does there. Press play. They're handing the ball and just runs through people. I can do that.
Jordan,
I'm
man.
telling you.
Jordan, man. You know what you're doing? Yeah. You know, like when it's in football and they ping a ball, diagonal ball straight across the field, and the guy just touches it and brings it down like it's nothing. Wait, that's what you're doing now. And because you haven't done that,
that requires skill. This one, they hand you the ball and you run. That requires skill. Yeah,
reaction times.
That's what I'm telling you. Give me 6 months before, yeah. Before, no. I'm not delusional about a lot of things, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But this one, before I thought I could be a wide receiver. That's a bit hard because you have to find separation and you have to catch the ball. Yeah, all right, cap. I thought I could do it.
Jordan, man.
And running back, whatever Derrick Henry did there.
You're not even fast.
I don't know if I'm gonna send you that. I don't know if you can clip it somewhere.
I'll clip it. Jordan, you're not even fast.
I used to be fast.
Used to be. See, look at you trying to replicate.
No. The moment that it was, I'm chasing the moment.
Bro, man is trying to chase when he was 21 and fit. Man had a 6-pack back then. Bro, you were 60 kilos. You weighed nothing.
He's trying to replicate. That's a good comeback. I like when that happens.
You know we do this.
But that, because I was thinking, I was like, first I thought it would be I saw a wide receiver. I was like, wait, all you have to do is find separation and catch the ball. It looked that hard. Fair enough. There's someone on you. A running back, when the quarterback just says, "Oh yeah, Jordan, run through the route."
Did you play rugby?
I did, yeah. I was on a winger. Yeah.
Of course you're a winger.
Yeah, I was quick back then.
Yeah.
I just found too much weight.
Okay, how many tries did you score in your whole career?
I played in secondary school. I scored like 3 tries in like 4 games. But it was so easy. We were just so much. We were playing. Do you know when you're playing against like minnows?
Jordan,
why are we playing these games?
In the NFL, bro.
Jordan, okay, let me ask you. What's one thing that you are delusionally confident you can do at a high level? Because that's my thing. Obviously I can take penalties and score against any keeper in the world. I believe that.
That's you know what? That's slightly different.
Yeah,
I've seen people that can't kick ball score penalties against keepers.
But that's my I was thinking about it. Like I'm not delusional about a lot of things. I'm not. But Patrick Mahomes runs with the ball to run this route, and then you know the thing is, do you know what pisses me off? At the end of the game, they say, "Oh, Derrick Henry had 50 yards of carry with 12 touches." I'm like, you think I can do that? That 50 yards of carry, 12 touches.
What am I delusional
I can do
about?
It, man.
What am I delusional about? You know what it used to be? What? You know what it used to be? And this is so funny. I thought I could do a solid 10 minutes of stand-up.
Do you have the material? Because if you have material, you probably could.
I got material.
You the thing is, yeah, stand-up and the way it's shown the community point. If you have the bits, you can actually refine it to do it. I think that's very possible.
Yeah, but that's what I know. But I'm talking about I could kill.
Wait. You have to keep the whole bit. But what's one bit that you know will kill? Your virginity, sorry.
100%. What's called expelled from school? 100%.
Yeah, you actually do have the bits.
Bro,
if you just
expelled from
kill a room of how many? 200 people. And everybody's cackling like knee slapping.
But you know why I think 200 people though.
Why?
You get 50 people to laugh. The other 50 will laugh out peer pressure.
I hear it.
I'm telling you.
I hear it. Yeah, that's my delusional thing. I've kept you running back for a game in the NFL. No. And it stops. Do you know after that run? That's it. He's done. That's it. After that run, the kicker came and kicked the ball and finished.
Jordan, I promise you can't. Okay, wait. Actually,
this is how you can be cocky in Ireland.
No. There's a lot of things bro. You know you're my guy. I believe in you. There's a lot of things I believe you about.
The tweet was like, my toxic trait is I can be.
You know what?
That's one thing. I'm like, I've convinced myself I can do it.
If they put you in a room of 100 people and you have to be the best at anything you wanted to be, what would be the thing that you go to straight?
It would have been like if we do finishing drills. Like you have to finish. I remember seeing on TikTok it was like Saka and Declan Rice versus 2 Newcastle players or whatever, and they had to do finishing drill. Who's going to score the most? Like from different angles. I would have said give me 100 people.
100 random people, bro.
Random people. I finish it. Then you've probably been in that room and Haaland is there. Fuck. Bro,
that's the thing. It doesn't even have to be Haaland, bro. It could be a League 2 player.
Yeah,
I think
but that's the thing I would go to because I was
really that's what you'd go to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to having a conversation before you go there.
That's the thing. Just
interviewing, you should go to interviewing way before you go there.
Dave was having this chat with me this week as well. He's like, I don't think I rate this enough as a skill.
Same. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the same.
Because when people say, like, they will say the same thing as I saying, like, oh, I don't think you should give the pod because it allows you to have a creative outlet.
I don't see this as creative.
Yeah. I think maybe you're right, because my mind should be like, oh, yeah, let me have a conversation with anyone in this room for an hour and a half. Nobody can do it. People get stuck. I can do it. Maybe you're right. But it's because it doesn't even come to my head because I don't view it as a skill. I just view it. Maybe it is. Maybe I should change my perspective. Because Charlemagne talked for a living and look at his life. And it's obviously a skill. Joe Budden, it's obviously a skill that they've even monetized, obviously. But I think that's the thing. I don't see it as a skill.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, no, but that's
Not
the
to
thing.
a level, but
yeah. I don't. Yeah, maybe. What would you do? Conversation? But finishing drills, I would love it though.
Jordan, you're not finishing better than 100 random people.
Probably yeah.
Bro,
probably yeah. Not gonna lie.
Jordan,
Not gonna-
one League 2 player in there, you're done. One.
What position?
It doesn't even matter. I don't even think.
Put Jordy in there. Finish better than Jordy. It's got 7 years.
Jordan, the top scorer. The guy that every time I see on Twitter, Jordy scored, Jordy did.
They're all tappins. They're all tappins.
Doesn't matter, they finished.
Yeah, but what would your skill be? You have to see conversation, I guess.
But that's the thing, I don't really feel like I'm the best at identifying my own skills. Do you get what I'm saying? But like, if we're talking about waffling, I can waffle for days, bro.
Yeah, but that I was saying, yeah, but so can anybody. But then
Apparently not.
No, that's like more of the time is like if he was doing this, he'd just be in his head thinking like there's like this freezing. He's thinking every time before he speaks.
Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of having two people because times that I come in here, bro, I have absolutely fuck all to say.
And sometimes the beauty of having a guest, especially one that can talk.
I love people that can pod, bro.
Yeah, that can talk.
You know what's funny? You know what came up on my memories the other day? I have an episode with Simi that's I think it's 2 hours long.
Oh yes, I remember when you did that.
I was just like, oh shit, Simi on pod, man.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you this because I was having this conversation with the missus yesterday, and we were driving, and we were talking about like sometimes mom that raise men and like the dad's not around, so the mom would get involved into the relationship of the, for example, the mom would get involved in the relationship of a girl, telling the girl like, oh, he's a man, he should be doing this, he should be doing that, he's a man, etc, blah blah blah. Do you think sometimes those mothers raise men with the perception of like what they've seen men be, so they want that for their son also? Because they'd be like, oh, no, he's like, they've seen men behave a certain way all their lives. So for them, it's like, this is how men behave. So now they're kind of seeing their son exhibit similar or kind of behavior, but their partners aren't having it because obviously it's hurtful. But their moms are like, well, this is what men do. Are they just kind of raising them from the like this? Obviously, they don't know how to be men. They're not men. They do, but they are raising men. So do they raise them from a standpoint of like, oh, all the men in my life ever did what my son is doing, and women just kind of held it. So you too as well just accept men behavior, or is it not the case? Is what you think?
I feel like we've had this conversation on this.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we have. But
we did. Yes, we
in
did.
the past couple of weeks specifically, I think not. I don't think she raised me to be the man that she wanted.
Yes, we did.
But
so, yeah,
I think it low key is because like I think for me a lot of the things that I know how to do is just because I had to. Like I know how to change the tire because it was literally like the tire is flat, bro.
figure it out.
You gotta figure it out. Like I remember the time, I think it was like snowing or some shit. Mom calls me, Dij, my tire is flat. I was like, yeah, cool, I'll come get you. Tell me why this woman takes my car and leaves me there. It's just like when you're done, even what's called, even like, because I think she was going to work or something like that. Even like the past week, right? Her car needed to go to NCT and all this kind of shit. Yo, Ditch. Car's going to NCT in it. So take the car to NCT, it fails. Alright, just go to the mechanic, just find out what it is, sort it out. Did that. Tire was flat. Go. But I think because I've also, but like, it's not that she expects that of me, because like she knows that I think I'm the most reliable of her children. If any of you guys
Jimmy,
have anything to say that.
Fight back, Jimmy. Fight back, nigga.
Jimmy reliable. But
he'll be back when he's in Malta again. That's what we'll see. Again.
Don't want it.
He's in Malta.
He will pop out in a different country and be like, oh yeah, I'm here.
It feels good. This is what I needed. When people go on holiday, they love that line. They love that line.
I think even his last Instagram post was like proof of life.
Where did that caption come from? I can't over the last year. But I was traveling around the world. What you call it? More says, just make sure you drop stories. You drop pictures saying proof of life, so we know you're alive. I was like, what?
You know, because like, who was it? Someone said this to me that when we stopped the pod, it's like I don't know if she's alive anymore.
You can
doesn't post. It doesn't do it.
Proof of life.
Yeah, that's what I do feel like it definitely comes down to a point of raising what your perception of what a man should be. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, that's what you can really do.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you perceive to be the best, like, obviously you want your kids to be the best. So, whatever you perceive to be the best is what you're going to try.
And do you think sometimes, no, 100%, I think now that you're saying that we had this conversation, do you think sometimes that they will enable their children's behavior and then just chalk it down to, oh, he's a man, because that's kind of the behavior they've seen men do, because they just kind of then accept men do this. And then now they're asking, perhaps unfairly asking their son's partner, kind of like charger, basically, like he's a man. But and they don't. It's not even their fault. They might not even know better. They just think like, oh, this is within the scope of manly behavior. So my son doing this isn't even wrong. It's his nature. Let's say that's what it's.
I think that depends on the person, because I feel like if there was some shit that I was doing and my mom saw me doing that, or like knew that I was doing that, she'd probably tell me not to, or have a problem with it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, my mom was quick to tell me like, yo, if you're wasting this girl's time, I'll tell this girl to leave, bro.
Come on, Nancy. I hear it. No,
so my mom was quick on that. So I think for some women, I feel like they're also trying to raise a man that a woman would want. Do you get what I'm saying? Not boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Do you get? But you raise it fixed now, yeah. Because we're talking about callback. We're talking about obviously being in an African household, not really being able to speak up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you raising your kid to be like that? And are you ready for the repercussions that come with that?
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. The question is like raising him to find his voice and have his voice immediate, like as soon as possible, not to be in his 30s and be at work and not be like comfortable finding his voice. I 100% hear it. And the repercussion is he's gonna have that voice also in your house.
He's gonna try to do like that.
So do you then? I think you have to take the good with the bad. Anything in life, nobody's gonna do a perfect job. Whatever way we were raised, there was good in it that we know how to follow authority, let's say, and it keeps us out of trouble for the most part. You just do what you say, you keep your head down, you go about your business, blah 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 blah. There is also, but the flip side is like, but you don't speak up, so you don't get what you kind of want. You just kind of accept what's given to you. There is, but I would rather the good with the bad in this, even though I have to perhaps explain myself a bit more. He has his voice. I have to give dialogue and have explanation a bit more, knowing that he's going to go out in the world and not just take, for the most part, a lot of the time, what's given to him. He's going to want to seek reasons and explanations and kind of also be like, no, that doesn't work for me. I don't like how this works. Maybe. Obviously, everything is theoretical and in theory, because I might get frustrated. Like, I just told you clean it. Just clean it. Do you know what I mean?
So
like we're human beings. Yeah, we're human beings.
When they get to that stage where why is their favorite word?
So ideally, yes, I would like to raise my kid to find his voice and have his voice as soon as possible. But the flip side, because I've seen cheeky children in school, like I couldn't believe that they're asking like, oh my God, you're actually saying this to the kid. Because all foreigners were kind of like, what, the teacher said this, we're just gonna do it. But some people had their voice early.
But I think that comes from knowing that their parents are gonna back them.
Yeah.
Because for me, don't call my mom.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good point.
There's no way that I'm spinning this that I'm in the right. Unless you outrightly call me a nigger, and even then, maybe what did you do?
They just used to fix and blame it. And I think, remember, we were on Sharon Ade's pod, and she said her mom would back her. So she was able to find her voice because her, like, it was obviously different to her brother. And she was saying, like, her mom would be like, no, not my Sharon. Like, she would even, like, she said, no, why would, if Sharon did this, why did she do it? Why did you do it? So she would actually, maybe, maybe also being able to back them as well. Be like, say, okay, but why did Feeks do it? Like, why was he behaving this way? What was happening in the class for him to behave this way?
But you know what's always weird about that? Is because I know that every child has, not every child, but a lot of children have two sides of them. The sides that the parents know and sides where the boys know. So it's kind of like, The fix that you know is not the fix that shows up
Of course,
at
and it's to say the things that his missus will know, the girls know, his friends will know. Like, you can't, like, those parents that say, "Oh, I know my child."
You know, you mostly know your child.
and once I get to that, especially us, anyways. Once I got into the teenage age, because we weren't able to speak up our voice in the house. A lot of things were secretive. A lot of things we weren't speaking about. Like, I remember me and my friend. I was talking about Morris. Me and my friend talk about this again. It's like, how many times you go through a pregnancy scare, you're just in your room scared? How many? You go through so many things in life. You're just going through so many things in life that you can't speak to an adult about. And I'm not saying you should speak to me, because I'm still, at the end of the day, you still have a father-son dynamic, and there's still uncomfortable conversations that nobody wants to have with their father. Even if he spoke to his, like, I always say this because Kate is 15 years older than him, so the dynamic is going to be like, he's 15, she's 30.
Closer,
yeah. So I'm like, even if he can speak, because Kate speaks to me, like things that she can speak to, even if he can speak to an adult and he knows the safe space is speaking to an adult. Whereas I don't think we had safe spaces speaking to an adult. Because even if I spoke to Chris's mom, it's going back to my mom. Like there was no safe spaces to engage. So I just kind of want to even build that for him. Even if, like, for an example, like he's speaking to Uncle Dij, there's certain things that you have to tell me. Like, oh, your kid did this, by the way. And there's certain things that you can advise him on.
What do you expect me to have to tell you? Like, oh, I was listening to a podcast here.
Everything, but you could tell me this one, don't tell him I told you. So he can still think that he can trust you. So, yeah.
Because I was listening to a podcast, and it was like, there were two boys, right? And it was like, what would you do? So like, I'll put it in terms of us. Fixes. Let's say he's 17 now, he's 18, whatever, and let's even say 16 or 17. 17 is a good age. You told him he couldn't go somewhere.
Yes, I've seen this clip. Yes.
And
we'll speak it out.
Yeah, you told him he couldn't go somewhere, and he ends up sneaking out, goes there, and then in the middle of the night, he calls me like, "Yo, Uncle Dij, I'm here. I need a lift right now. Can you come get me?" Kind of a situation. And then when I come to get him, he's like, "Yo, like, don't tell my dad," or whatever. I get him, bring him home safe, get him into the house and everything. Do you expect me to tell you?
I love this question because was he in danger?
Let's say no immediate danger.
Okay, no immediate danger. He just couldn't get home.
He just couldn't get home.
I want you to tell me, but and it's between us. He doesn't know that you told me because there was no day. Because I still want to know. Do you know what I mean? But I still want him to have I still want him to be able to go to you, because if the minute that trust is broken between you, then he has nobody to go to. I still want to know, like, yo, you know your son did this. He told me to pick him up. Nothing happened. He was safe. I dropped him home. Everything was good. But I just want to let you know because you're his parent. But that trust line still, because I would let you know. If that was your kid, I'd be like, I picked up your youths. This is the situation. Nothing happened, but you're still his dad. You told him not to go. I would understand why you would want to call me, but I would be like, keep that line of communication open, because one day he might be in danger, and he might. I don't want him to be scared when he's in actual danger. I can't call Dij because Dij told my dad.
Also, okay, like let's say in that situation now, I know I tell you, and married couples, if you tell one, you tell both.
Yeah.
So now you tell your wife.
Yeah.
And your wife is not as level-headed as you.
He always gets in trouble now, my poor son.
So now I tell you don't say anything to him. You tell her. She goes off at him. Now, am I wrong for not telling you because I know what? Like, let's even forget your wife. Let's say I just know you and your temper.
Yeah.
I tell you, and now, like, let's even say the reason why you grounded him already was something that you were pissed about.
Yeah.
And then he went. And then now I'm telling you that, look, I know you're pissed about this already. And on top of that, he disobeyed you.
Yeah.
But you can't tell him that I told you. But I know you that you're gonna go pop off.
Yeah.
So now, am I wrong for not telling you?
I would understand why you didn't. Like, I don't think you're wrong. Let's just say that. I don't think you're wrong, because I understand I understand your line of thinking. I understand you. Maybe you'd be like, I still want to keep that line of communication of trust open here, because one day he actually might be in danger. Like, I don't want him not to be able to call me because I told his dad and his dad popped off on it. Now he has nobody to call. So I would.
That's how you get in cars with strangers.
Exactly. No, I would get why you wouldn't tell me. I've snuck out loads of times. But I still always tell my brother, just in case. I'm like, I'm here. So I understand the teenager or a preteen, whatever. Someone sneaking out to be at a party that they probably shouldn't be at. I get it. So I would, in your case, I'd be like, ugh. Even if I pop, I wouldn't want to pop off, and I would have to say to you, like, we can't. You need to know because you're also his parent, but you cannot pop. They probably be passive aggressive comments. Where were you last night? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
why are you giving up the game?
But see, the thing is, sometimes you might not pop off, but you can't let him know that you know.
Yeah.
And now what were you last night? Yeah. Obviously, you know.
No, I know. Like, I know how I would play. I would know. Like, I would want that line of communication.
I'll tell you 3 months later.
Something, yeah. I want that line of communication to remain open with as many adults as possible because we're all here to help you. Kids think like everybody, adults, like, especially in their lives, are against them. We just want the best for you. We want you to be the best human being you can. And
you're telling me I can't go out, and Becky wants to chat.
And Becky says she's definitely gonna be there. Becky's sending me snaps. She's looking sweet. I've been led by my dick. I'm not judging. Like, that's what I'm saying. I get it. Like, I understand, but. If he was in danger, then I have to have a conversation with him because he was in danger. Something could have happened. Like, I need to tell you, like, something could happen. But if he wasn't in immediate danger, he had a party, just couldn't find his way home, and he reached out to an adult. We've been there. Like, maybe not my missus, but we've all been there. But yeah, what would you want?
I feel like if there's no immediate danger, honestly, a part of me was like, maybe tell me a couple months later.
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, yeah, if it's one of those situations where it's kind of like, I want you to be able to call the people that I trust. Yeah. Like, there's very few people I trust, even when I have a girl, there's very few people I trust my girl in the hands of. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's one of my boys, if I call, like, yo, get her home, I don't even need to call to know she's home because I know she's getting home. If it's him, and it's my youth, bruv, I might as well be there. I might as well have been the one picked him up. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. So I think everybody would like to know. Everybody always wants to,
especially with their child.
In theory, everybody always wants to know everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. My last question to you, okay, 2 questions. Does your partner have a trait that you really appreciate and that you really love about them? Yeah. Until it applies to you?
What you mean?
Like, let's say, like, let's say your girl is proper, like, she's proper feisty. Yeah. Like,
okay.
And, like, it's great when she's outside. But when it's like, I have to deal with this.
And the thing is, to be fair, this trait I like about Simi, I can also be reversing, like, how to deal with this is like, she knows how to stand on business with a lot of things.
When you're beefing, that's when you want to stand on business. Bro, allow me.
Like, because the thing is, I can get past things, overlook things, but the fact is, like, I know if Simi's on business, she's on business, and this will get done because she's standing on business. Or at the same time, I'm like, bruv, move on, man.
Like, it's been 24 hours. Call no man.
Why you still hold on to this? But it is a trait that I'm like, in a person, like, someone that knows how to be like, I'm standing on business. He's like, that's kind of hot. Yeah, you do that, babe. But at the same time, I'm like, it's all right. Like, leave it alone.
On the flip side, do you feel like you have a trait that she finds really cool until she has to deal with it?
I actually don't know. Like, I don't know if there's a specific trait, but it might be. It might be maybe like conversations when. So yeah, like it just be like within conversation, I know like I'm still trying to like we can have a call, we can have a chat, we can have a laugh. She likes that about me. Or it's also the same trait that now it's like no, it's time to be serious. It's time to like button up and everything. It's like
you're so funny.
Yeah, why are you not taking this conversation as serious? But people are like, but this
I don't take anything serious.
Yeah, but this is what we love. We joke around, man. Why are we not joking around now?
This is why you fell in love with me.
Yeah, we don't. So I think it's like I think a lot of men can say. I think that's like the thing with a lot of men. It's like and I think it's like. That's just your overall personality that she loves, and then it's your overall personality that's like, can you fix up right now? Like,
yeah, but I look. You think like the thing you love about somebody the most is sometimes what you end up not liking about them as well.
It's a lot of things with a lot of people. It's a thing that makes you great is a thing that can also kill. Like the ego that creates a person is the same ego that can kill the person, and you do still need that ego to be PDD. Whatever drive and power that he had. Created a billionaire. Whatever fucked up thing that he had going on created a billionaire. But it's the same fucked up thing going on. That was for his demise.
Same as Vince as well.
Vince, I watched the doc. It's like, you needed to. They know what you needed to be this way.
Yeah, you needed to be an asshole to do this.
Be who you are. But it's the same thing. When you flip it, it can manifest itself into something very ugly. So I think that's a lot of that's what they say. Love and hate as like the line is very close.
Thin line between love and hate.
It's like that's I think was the same thing that you can love about someone, like the same polarizing characters. Some people love that big personality, that bigger than life personality. The same thing that people love about that person is the exact same thing that people hate about that person. Yeah. So, well, this episode turned out better than
I thought.
Then it started at the beginning, but we picked up. We always do. So, anyways,
come on, we do this shit.
If you made it to the end of this pod, you didn't like anything that we said today, well, you can charge it. Bang, bang. Thank you for listening.